Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping in on Xendoo's catch-up webinar. We're going to talk about a lot of fun things today, and it's going to take us about 12 to 15 minutes, and happy to answer some questions after. And I'm here today with Louis Goldenberg, who is our Director of Tax and a brilliant, brilliant tax mind. So thank you, Louis. And I'm Lil Roberts, CEO of Xendoo, and Xendoo is online bookkeeping and accounting for SMBs across America, as well as from other countries that have businesses in the US. So today what we're going to cover, we're going to talk about catch-up bookkeeping, also catch-up tax, right? You may have your bookkeeping caught up and you need, past couple of years of tax returns. So we'll hit on both. We're going to talk about why it's important, what is needed to get it done, and then the benefits of catch-up, and then do it yourself versus having an accounting professional take care of it. So with that, let me just go ahead and jump into our quick promise, only a couple slide PowerPoint. We don't do death by PowerPoint. So, right, Louis? So let's chat about these topics here. So catch-up bookkeeping is about taking your past bookkeeping, maybe for the last year, 2 years. We've seen people as many as 4 years that need their bookkeeping caught up, and about bringing it up to date. And what it'll do for you is a few things. It improves your profitability. So Louis, why does it improve their profitability?
You have to know where you're spending money, where you're saving money, where you can save money, how you can plan, strategize. If you don't have insight into your books, you can't do any of that.
True.
You're like flying blind.
Right, completely, 100%. And then it maximizes your tax savings. And the reason for that is that we see it all too often, and is that when customers aren't doing their bookkeeping month in, month out, that they end up leaving out key components that they maybe used a personal credit card for, or maybe they paid cash, or things that you just forget. I mean, it gets crazy, right? You're juggling so much as small business owners, and then they leave money on the table.
Right. So not all expenses have to come out of a business account or a business credit card.
We recommend it though.
Right,
we want you to be
recommended, but sometimes you're out and you spend cash on things, or you might use a personal credit card by mistake, or you might whatever. You can include all that stuff on your books, but if you don't have books, then you don't know that you can take advantage of those tax savings.
We've seen people where they've donated, old work trucks to different organizations, and they forgot that they did that, and then they don't capture it on the business where they may have been able to do that, right?
That's correct.
Or they don't look at their fixed assets and cross those things off that have been that they're no longer using or could have been fully depreciated. Sure. So lots of reasons. And then of course, being able to get a loan. When you go to the bank to get a loan, and same thing about PPP, unfortunately, with the pandemic that we've all lived through, is that the banks want your most recent profit and loss statements and balance sheets. They want to know that you're running your business and looking at your numbers and that it's documented. And typically they want that from a third party. Once in a while, they'll take it right out of QuickBooks, but they want to see that that has been accounted for in your business.
Right. They're also going to want to see the prior tax return and organized records. And if you don't have those things, that
hurts your chances.
Hurt your chances. One last thing about the books is, you want to be able to have books so you can have a knowledgeable conversation with your tax professional towards year ends to find out how you could, get better tax advantages a year end. If you don't have books, you can't do that. You're leaving things on the table.
And then also resale of the business. So we're here promoting, please have books. We're not saying you have to use us or by any means you have to use an accountant at all. There are benefits to it, but we're going to get into in a few minutes here, how do you do it yourself and the benefits of that, and then if you use an accounting professional. So what's needed in order for you to be caught up? What is needed is that you need digital bank statements, and the reason why digital is that you don't want to rekey or have somebody else rekey, because then it opens up the opportunity to transpose numbers. You want the same thing with your credit card bills, and so with Xero or QBO, our platform wraps around both. You can connect your bank account and your credit card. So depending on your bank, some banks go back 18 months. And
read only too.
Yeah, and it's read only. Like if you're using a professional, use read only access for connecting your bank and your credit card. All of our customers, we only ask for read only. We do not want to have access to your money. And you shouldn't let anyone have access to your money.
Never. Well, one other point on that, having manual records might not even be realistic because for like e-commerce, there's thousands of transactions.
Right.
It's really hard to keep track of thousands of transactions.
True.
Manually.
True.
So if you digitally connect to the bank or credit card,
Right.
it allows you to download the transactions and categorize them.
Right. They flow right into Xero and QBO. And a good point on if you're e-com, it's going to come through Shopify or Amazon or even Walmart's platform. And we're very experienced in connecting all that.
Yes.
It's very important that they're connected properly, because if you don't do the integration in a certain way, it can overstate your income. But if you're an e-com person, please just reach out for a consult. We'll chat with you about that. And then the last piece that you're going to need in order to catch up your bookkeeping is your loan documents. It's important to get your loan documents so you can set up the balance sheet correctly, right? For amortization, depreciation, all of those things. Okay, what's the benefits? Benefits are, number one, you sleep better at night. I'm smiling because we hear often from people that come aboard and want us to do the catch up. And by the way, don't feel bad if you're behind. 25% of all business owners are behind on their books, 25%. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's nothing to beat yourself up about. It's something to take action on, absolutely. And at the end of the day, you're working, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. You're constantly thinking about your business. You shouldn't have to sit down and do the books. Let somebody else do the books. Your time's more valuable on growing your business. It's important. And the other benefit of catch up, understanding the numbers of your business. You have to know where you've been to know where you're going. And so if you don't know what your cost of goods are, or you don't know what your overhead is, then how are you going to be able to make the right decisions about how much insurance should you carry? Is your coverage going to be enough in case there's a disaster? Whether it's a weather event disaster or any other type of disaster, you want to make sure that you understand that you're going to cover what your monthly net is.
Right. And so I think it's really important to be able to know your books, to be able to strategy, plan. I get emails all the time in the middle of the night with our small business owners, very nervous, very scared because they don't know what's going on. And that's why, the customers come to us, because we take care of them with a smile on our face at any time of the day.
Well, the customers, we all know small business owners, look, we're a small business too, right? Small businesses are considered, really, I think if you're less than 50 million in size, you're considered a small business. And we're all always concerned, right? We all always have anxiety. Even if we know that your business may be cyclical, that same time every year, when you see that dip, you go, oh my gosh, why is this dip? Even when you look at your books last year and you say, oh, it's the dip every time, we all still get a little bit nervous about it. The other piece about it is the benefits of catch up is to be able to be ready for the future, to know if you know how your business is trending and tracking, you're able to plan for the future. And so that's an important part as well. So let's talk about do it yourself versus hiring an accounting professional. And which way should you go? So we're going to talk through a couple different scenarios about it. If you do it yourself, it's going to take your time. So if you can devote, a weekend or a couple of weekends, and if maybe you took finance in college or accounting, or you're just naturally great at that and you don't mind doing the research, you can go ahead and you can catch yourself up through Xero or through QuickBooks. What you may miss out on is not having the tax lens to maximize your tax savings. So what do I mean by that? If your food, right, meals and entertainment, that's a 50% write-off. But if you're having meals and entertainment on a travel, it would go under travel, and that's 100% write-off. Right. So that's an area where, maybe you're categorizing all your meals and you travel all the time because you're a consultant and you're traveling all the time. And it's really meals are happening when you're traveling, could have been 100% write-off, but you may call it meals and put it as a 50%. And when you hand those books over to a tax professional, they're going to just look at the categories and they're not going to necessarily look at your business holistically to really, truly understand how you're categorizing things. So doing it yourself.
Inventory is another area too. Small businesses, e-commerce especially, you could expense all of your purchases in the year paid. Okay. Whereas, the small business owner may think that, You know,
You have to
keep
categorize
everything- You have
inventory.
to keep everything on the balance sheet, inventory, not everything, but just inventory on the balance sheet and leave expenses off the table
Right.
by not classifying it as purchases.
Well, and that's a bigger discussion that if anybody that has inventory, give us a call, do a free consult,
Sure.
and we can talk to you about it. But up to it's $5 million, you can expense all your inventory, or you don't have to carry it over. But we're not giving tax advice on the webinar. This is really about catch up. So do it yourself, takes your time. You may be leaving money on the table. Very, possible for you to do it. And there's a couple of different ways you can do it yourself. So if your business doesn't have a tremendous amount of items and transactions, you could get a spreadsheet from us. So if you reach out and say, hey, I want you guys to do my taxes, but I'm going to go ahead and categorize and give you an Excel spreadsheet. We give you an Excel spreadsheet to put it into the right categories for tax purposes, but then you're going to miss out on having actually a monthly checkup, a health check for every month of how your business is doing. So you can look at month over month, each year. You can look at year over year for the same month. A couple different ways you can do if you do the catch up through an accounting software and have it that way. By hiring an accounting professional such as ourselves or somebody else, you get to take your time back and you're going to maximize your tax savings, and you're going to have your catch up done with a tax savings lens, which is crucially important if you're planning and you're just starting out in your business, or if you're scaling your business. It's very important to have that health checkup every month to see what the scorecard looks like. What's your net profit? What are your expenses? Did you have 3 payrolls this month and that's why all of a sudden cost of wages are up? Did you just order a bunch of inventory? Is that why your cost of goods are up? And to have that picture on it. So whatever works for you, we can help you. If you want us just to do the taxes only for you and you do the spreadsheet because you don't have a lot of transactions. But if you do have a lot of transactions, it means that you could be leaving a lot of money on the table if it's not then the tax saving lens. So that's us. Xendoo is bookkeeping, right? We handle bookkeeping and tax, and we love small business owners. Our top categories of customers really are at less than 20 employees. And your business can be a SaaS-based business, a tech business, could be e-com, professional services, gym, you name it. We pretty much have businesses all over America in 46 states, hundreds and hundreds of customers. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time. We're wishing you just an amazing year ahead. And thank you for tuning in today.
Let's get your books caught up, and we'll hope to speak with you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye-bye.